repping South Carolina in there too, huh?
Got to, bro. Spurs up, man. We first off the Natty too. So
I see that. Yeah, I see that. Y'all definitely got that. Shout out to Don Staley though. She's been doing her thing anyway. I'm definitely mention that for sure.
oh man.
She's like is she the GOAT already? Like she one of the ones.
Hey, Phil, bro. Look, Gino was 11-0 in the final before he faced Don. Yo, they're calling it a dynasty down here. Don starting it up. She's 2-0 already. Asia Wilson already got her own statue. I mean, she owns something, man.
She on that though. She got that statue out there going crazy. I know what time it is. And she homegrown with them players too. They really coming from the area too, like really out of the state. So you got to give them their props. I ain't even gonna lie. I also want to give you your props. You might just say we start. I want to give you your props because I definitely been following you online and you did your thing. Now I ain't gonna lie. They selected you. What is it? University of South Carolina School of Law. Student Bar Association, bro. You're a representative for that joint, man. Like they really voted you in. Like you making the boys proud. Like
I appreciate it, bro.
I know it was tough, man. Just talk to us a little bit about just being in law school and having to go through those tough classes, man. I know it's tough, man. Right now, it's finals time right now? I'm higher education too, so I know when finals time come around.
It's crazy.
You like this right now.
Oh my God. Literally finals start like a week from tomorrow, man. So I've just been locked in, man, and just studying around the clock. Like I wish I didn't have to like sleep and I would just be studying all day and cramming low key, but it's good though, man. I know it's going to pay off in the long run. It's just the first year of law school is like the hardest more times than not because your schedule's already set, but they hit you with a lot of classes that's going to be on the bar exam. And so because of that, you have to really be ready to handle those classes. And if you haven't been in school in a while, or even if you have been in school, like there's college, undergrad level stuff, and then there's law school, like doctorate level stuff. It's different, man. But at the end of the day, we're making it happen, man. And USC is it's a school that's been shooting up, man. Like they're on the up and up, man. We've jumped up 12 spots nationally. And man, Ketanji Brown Jackson just got appointed Supreme Court justice, but like if we there was another candidate, Judge Childs, who went to USC Law. If she had been picked instead of Ketanji, bro, USC might have shot up 40 spots, 50 spots.
Just off that alone, huh? That's how important that is too. That's still good, man. The further your education and take it to that point, man. You know what I'm saying? You're one of the people that I definitely follow online and make sure that you know what I'm saying, you on your game. And you look like you got some people around you that's really, making sure that the team is straight. And that's very important too. Teamwork, making that dream work. You feel me? And we're going to talk about that with this NBA talk because I really got you on because I got to always tell people, like, I just was in the barbershop. Barbershop talk is always happening. Everybody talking about sports and stuff. And a lot of times, like, I had to test myself a few times, bro. It was crazy. So I've been studying and just looking at, watching games, sports all this time. And I'm like, every time I go to the barbershop, if I'm with one of my boys, he can't hold himself back. Like he's going to get into like a back and forth about sports, right? So I used to test myself and be like, when I go to the barbershop, I'm not going to get into a back and forth about sports. I'm just going to let the people talk about it, just hear what they have to say. And so I was at that point when I met you, like I'm like, I'm going to just sit back. I know this stuff about the sports right now, but I like to hear different perspectives. I heard you say a few things. This was probably Lonzo Ball times for Lakers. They was arguing about that back then. And I was like, yo, this dude knows what he's talking about. So I got to have him on, man, at least follow you and, you know what I'm saying, follow what you're doing as far as looking at the league. With that being said, the question that I feel like everybody has is, who's the MVP of the NBA?
Yeah. For me, I think Joel Embiid is the MVP, bro. I think it's a tight race. It's been a tight race. There have been in and out like candidates as far as like, especially on the guard side, because I remember DeMar DeRozan had a good run early. Ja Morant had a good point. Steph had a good point. Yeah. But like, because of injuries and stuff, they were in and out of like that list. But Joel Embiid, in my opinion, has consistently been in like the top 3 all year. And then now, and then of course they got James Harden and everything, but still his production has stayed the same, if not even gone up.
Right.
He's about to win the scoring title it's just like, I mean, the last big man to put up, the last traditional big man to do stuff like this was Shaq. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, you know, Jokic, don't get me wrong, Jokic is great. You know, he's a different kind of big. He's a big too, but I like how Embiid's been doing it, man. It's that old school, like he'll bang down low, but then he has that new school ability to handle the rock and shoot threes, and he's been staying healthy. I think it's time. It's his this year.
He started out hot too, and he just kind of kept it. He kind of sustained it through. I wanted to see what he was going to do, like after All-Star break. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. And B really jumped out. It really him and DeRozan and Morant. They like jumped out crazy. And I'm like, all right, somebody gonna tell off. We'll find out who that is as it goes. And B just kept balling. It has me feeling like, is he like, soon as Ben Simmons is not playing, like Embiid kind of took. We knew Embiid was good already, but it seemed like no with Ben Simmons, he just went up another notch, 2 notches. Like, I'm like, yo, Embiid trying to get these awards with or without. Like, it was almost like, if Simmons, if you're gonna play, that's cool. If you're not gonna play, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, that's what I really got out of Embiid this whole season. Is like, put anybody with me. It can be Simmons, it can be Harden, All-Star game. I'm playing with these guys, whoever it is. I'm here to do what I'm gonna do. Like, give me the ball. The double team's coming. We're gonna figure it out still. You know what I mean? Throughout the season, man.
Yeah. And I think also another thing too is like, he's been accepting criticism well. Like, you know, over the years, Shaq and Chuck, they've been going at him because they know, especially Shaq, because he's like, yo, we recognize your greatness. Like, you're kind of one of us, but you got to show it. And I feel like he took that on, you know what I mean? And like, I feel like we've been seeing his progression. Like, we saw him cry when Toronto beat him, you know, a few years ago. And I think those tears were real, you know what I mean? And I think the Ben Simmons drama was real. And I think it was weighing on him. And I think that he really took it upon himself to say, you know what? I'm just going to focus on me and everybody's going to follow me, and you're either with it or you're not. And I think that's what great players got to do. And that's what the great bigs have done. That's what Shaq did. That's what like all those greats have done, man. So I just feel like he deserves it, man. Like I want him to win it. That'd be nice.
Yeah. We're going to see, man. This thing close. I ain't gonna lie. Jokic balling right now. He going crazy. He been going all season going crazy. And then you look at, you got players on Denver that are not there that really should be there. Like, you know what I'm saying? You missing out on Jamal Murray. You got Porter Jr.'s back hurt and they still gave him the bread. Like, he came in with the injury. They still paid him. So it's like, yo, and he's not playing. So Jokic's really out here like, listen, man, whoever's around, I'm getting you the ball. Just keep running. And then if it's one-on-one time, I'm going to do what I got to do. So he a problem. He just got it last year. If he go back to back, that'll be crazy too. People be forgetting, like, Jokic really got it last year.
He did. He did. I think what's gonna hold him back, in my opinion, is like the rankings. I gotta look again. I think the Nuggets are like currently the 5 or 6 seed, and I think that's kind of a little bit too low to win MVP.
They had the 6 seed.
They had a 6 seed, so I think that's kind of low because the last time, from what I remember, the last time a team was that low and had an MVP was Russ in 2017. But that was the first year that he averaged a triple-double. So that was history.
He make it.
You know, with Jokic, it's like, we know you're balling. Like, you should be a candidate, but like, you know, unfortunately, like, you know, your team is at a lower standard. You're going to make the playoff. That's all good and well. But like, Embiid though, I just feel like Embiid has just really put in the work. You can tell, like, he really, really put in the work to make sure he stay healthy. And he's a leader. Like, I gotta give it to him.
We was always talking about Embiid years in the prior about him not being in shape because he came in hurt. People forget, but Embiid came in hurt too. Like, he had you know what I'm saying? They took a gamble with him. That whole trust the process thing. Like, he was really a part of that because of being hurt the whole time. Like, that's how it started. Everybody else wanted to talk about building the team around, but it really started just because we got to trust the fact that the guy that we decided to draft came in with a hurt foot, hurt back. Everything was like hurt on him when he first started. So he got it right as far as his maturity level too. I think that's very important. I forgot, but now I remember when he did cry about that Raptors. People forget that 3-pointer that Kawhi made. Now, if he misses that, Sixers are continuing to move. The Raptors don't have that ring that everybody's gonna. When you look back in history, like, the Raptors getting that ring is gonna be like, oh, that's the one-off. That Kawhi really came to a new team, did his thing, cement his legacy type stuff, like, off the 3. So, I mean, against the Sixers, you feel me? And I remember, now that you brought that up, Embiid really was crying about that. And it was a real tear. Like, he was tight about it. And people were on him because he liked to play around a lot and joke, but he wasn't joking in that moment. Like, he got serious.
Right.
So
yeah, man.
I ain't gonna lie. I say if Embiid get it, I'll be happy for him. If Jokic go back to back, that's gonna be crazy too. And when you talk, speaking of back to back, just to bring this up too, I was talking to one of my boys. I was talking to Scoops actually. Yo, if Giannis, and this I don't think is gonna happen, but if Giannis, like if Bucks go to the finals again, bro, because they just won it last year, and people really just like kind of don't want to. They really just beat Suns last year. If they go to the finals again and he go like on some back to back with the accolades he already got, what you gonna do with Giannis out here? He already a problem, but like accolades wise too. You talking about MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, ring, 50 points in the last game to close it, bro. So like somebody got to knock Bucks out of here. Like when I think about it, because if he gets to the finals again, bro, what can you say?
What can you say? I mean, nah, it's real. And it's funny because I started this, even though I agree that, I think that Embiid should be MVP. I saw this last year during the playoffs in the Bucks Nets series. And I was like, hey man, Giannis low-key might be the best player in the world because like, okay, yeah, all right, KD has the skill set. We know that, you know what I'm saying? LeBron has the longevity. We know that. But Giannis, one, his skills are getting better every year. Two, the dominance, bro. Like that 50 ball was just pure dominant. Like that was crazy. And like you said, if they go back to back, now all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this is a new era that we're in. And like he's putting himself ahead now because he gets two. Now you're like, wait a minute, this is a two-time MVP with 2 rings, 2 Finals MVPs. Like, wait a minute. So this playoff run is going to be key for so many players' legacies, in my opinion, because like for the Giannis level people, it stamps them as like truly, truly all-time greats. And then for the like Donovan Mitchells, it's going to show that like, hey, you need to do something different because
Yeah, you gotta have to figure it out in Utah. That's what lead me to my next thing. I was gonna ask you, give me 3 teams for the East and for the West that you look forward to seeing going forward into the playoffs. You can start with either one.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the West first. I want to see what Memphis looks like because this team has like hit a level that's so crazy where they lost Ja Morant for 21 games and they still won all those games without him. He came back, I think, last night, and they're still doing well. Yeah. So if they can really, really put together, they can make a run. That's one team I want to see.
That's the same team I had. So we got the same team for the same reason. That's statistically why that's crazy to me. I don't like they're winning when he's not playing.
Right.
Right.
Which is funny because it's like it low-key hurts his MVP case a little bit, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like he's still young. He'll be a candidate for years to come if he stay healthy. But for the team, that's a really good sign, in my opinion. So I want to see Memphis. I want to see Golden State too because
that's my second team too. I'm glad we got the same.
Yeah, I gotta see Golden State too, man, because Steph. Everybody needs to be healthy, man. If everybody's healthy at the same time, there's a potential for them to make a run to the finals. But the key, I'm thinking, for the Warriors, one, Steph got to be healthy. Right. But two, Clay needs to be healthy because there's a weird dynamic that I don't think people are talking about with the Warriors where Clay comes back and we're like, all right, give Clay the ball, give Clay the ball. But really, I'd argue that the second option should be Jordan Poole.
Man, you sound like have you been looking at what's going on? You look at my notes, like what's going on?
Jordan Poole is tough, bro.
All I do is send text to my friends like, yo, Poole. I'm just like, y'all know Poole is like, it really don't matter like who's here, who's not. I look at players as like, it don't matter who's around. Like chemistry is great. You need it always. You want to move forward with your team. Great chemistry going to probably put you, you'll be able to cut the nets down with that chemistry. But sometimes you just got to be able to hoop. Poole came out here like, man, I know Clay's been hurt. He's starting off slow. You're not going to be over here. I'm going to do my thing. And I think it helped him because he was able to get those starting minutes at the beginning too. So like you playing with Steph, already a player who's going to get you the ball when you need it. But like he going for it. I was listening to an interview a while ago, probably early in the season. It's wild. I don't know the guy's name. It's like the guy that covers the Warriors all the time. I can't think his name. But he was talking about Jordan Poole's mindset. Like he's like coming at Draymond. He coming at all the players. Like he's one of the vets, even though he's like young in this league, trying to make his way out here. But he's like, his attitude is like, listen, I'm here to, you know what I mean? Because of the way, if you really look at his journey now, the way he kind of got in the league anyway, he's like one of those players. nobody's thinking Jordan Poole's about to be giving you 27. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's going for 30 times true scorer in this league. So you're right. They're giving the ball to Clay a lot. I was always looking at the Draymond part, you know what I'm saying, for him when he was injured, you know what I'm saying, and that team not having what they need as far as, you know, making everything connect, because he's one of those players offensively that just can get the ball to anybody when they need it. And Steph, I feel very comfortable with, you know, he's very comfortable with Draymond being, and when he's not there, then Steph, you know, having to do a whole lot extra. He's got to be healthy when he's there too. Can't be just there. You know what I'm saying? I heard Draymond is not the same Draymond. Like, for everybody, I hope everybody understand that. Don't be thinking just because he's there, he gonna just mentally will this team. He has to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, but he for sure with that team. So I got Warriors too. You got both of my teams. The third team, I don't see what your third team is. You might have all three of my teams.
My third team is Phoenix.
We got all three of the same team, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I want to see what the Suns. This is the second time, bro. Second time around.
Hey man, and I think that like they're really in the position that I think to go back to the finals, because you know Chris Paul is already the first step, because you know everywhere he goes, his team wins. That you know he hasn't won a ring yet, but his team improves when he's there. Period. Right. And I think his effect on Devin Booker has been good too, because once Chris Paul went down, Devin Booker stepped up and really started to show that, like, I'm more than a scorer. Like, I've been a bucket since I came in. Y'all saw that 70 ball. When I was a child.
Right. That was a wild 70 earlier that everybody kind of just, but it's one of those stats he always can say in his life, like, I gave you 70 by myself before. By myself,
you know, but now it's like he's showing a complete game, because he's still giving you buckets. He's still giving you buckets in like that tough, like half court setting, but he can get his teammates involved if he needs to. He picks and
running the point.
He can run point now. I'm like, bro, like this. So now you got him, you know, at that level. You got Chris Paul, who's been consistent. I just feel like they know what it is now. They know how it feels to get there and be close. So, I mean, if they stay healthy, like, I feel like they're absolutely going to be in the Western Conference Finals at least.
And they've been balling all year too. You know how you have that, it's like this thing in the back of your mind when you playing and you winning, and it's like regular season mode. Because I'm all about, like, this is regular season mode and then this is playoff mode. Like, it's really a difference to me as far as, like, I look at players who really do something in the playoffs. It's like, all right, that's the thing. Like, and there's some players who they just know how to turn it on when it matters. You might not even find them during regular season, but in the playoffs they do their thing. If you're a player that ball in regular season, then playoffs hit and you still ball, that goes a long way with me, just personally. Like, you got to be able to do it when it really counts, when the lights are on for real. So that, you know, I admire that. And then them having, you know, like I said, Monty Williams, number one seed, bro. Like, them folks was like the best team all year.
Best team, really. Yeah, bro.
And now we're going into the finals, and I don't know if you saw that clip when Devin Booker, like, once they solidified it, he was like, it's a lot of people that just not been giving us flowers, and we need to get them. And it's Phoenix. I understand it's some people that's just going to always look at Suns like, man, y'all was so sorry. Like, you understand how sorry and bad y'all were? Because I feel like last year, when they win the finals, nobody's like, what are y'all even doing? Like, I'm just thinking, everybody's thinking like, yo, why y'all even here? Like, if you're watching the games like us, you know why they're here. But if you're just watching, casual fan, you're like, the Suns, it's the Suns. There's a lot of people were saying that last year, like, but they got a chance to go again. You just said they can go again. So
they can go again. And if they go against Milwaukee again, they're not going to be afraid of them, because they know what happened last time. So, you know, maybe they make adjustments and we'll go from there. But, like, yeah, I could see them definitely coming out the West. If I had to make a prediction right now, I would say they come out the West. I would say either them or Golden State come out the West. If I had to make a prediction for the West.
Okay. What about the East?
Okay, so my three teams for the East, I'm going to say two contenders and one team that I'm just kind of not sure about, but they might already kind of show us who they are. And that first team I'm going to say is Chicago, because Chicago, they've had moments, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, okay, like maybe they can do well. But then throughout the season, when they play against contenders, they don't do well. So when the playoffs start, I really want to be paying attention to see, like, all right, one, is DeRozan's production going to stay at the same level, or is it going to drop, or is it going to go up? Right. One, two, what is Zach LaVine going to look like? Because one, he's the second option. And then also, I think he's an impending free agent. And, like, you know, if that doesn't go well, if Chicago looks bad, I think he'll bounce. Then
I didn't think about it.
Yeah. And if Levine is a free agent, oh man, it's gonna be an arms race, low key.
He was like my favorite player last year.
Yeah, he was.
Last year, Levine went crazy. He's doing his thing now still, but last year he went crazy.
Exactly. So, and then like they don't have Lonzo, which I think it does kind of hurt them because Lonzo can play defense. So I want to see like if they lose, do they put up a fight or like were they really just kind of like regular season team? They're
right. The difference on like regular season, they were getting straight regular season by the good teams. But I like Chicago. Like all season, I came into this season like I told a few of my boys like I seen the moves they made. I'm like Chicago gonna be straight. I'm not thinking they about to do what they did. Now they started balling, but I was like, there's nothing wrong with bringing DeRozan over to this team. You got Levine, who already, if he don't, it's not a shot that he don't like. So if he'll take a bad shot if he needs to. DeRozan can help calm that down. Somebody who you can give me the ball in the clutch. I might do something. I give it to you too because you got ability. You can do it too. And then you brought Lonzo over. I know what he's doing, just like you said on defense. Vucevic. I'm like, they're bringing all these players to the East right now that doesn't have LeBron in it. Like, we only worrying about somebody like the Nets players and stuff. This coming into the season. I'm like, okay, you only worried about like the Nets with all these good players. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Sixers, but we knew Simmons kind of wanting to play. So I'm like, Chicago putting all these players together and ain't nobody really looking over there, but they got a squad. So we'll see, when the playoffs come.
Exactly. We'll see. The playoffs is going to be key. So that's the first team. I would say the second team that I want to pay attention to in the East, it's either Miami or I'll just say Miami. I'll say Miami because
those two teams I don't have. So you got two different teams than me now. So that's good.
Hey, okay. Yeah. I want to see what's good with Miami because, it's like they're kind of similar to Chicago in a way where it's like they have moments of greatness, but then they don't. But then they showed with the bubble that they can make a run. But it's like, all right, we're not in the bubble anymore. Are they for real? They brought in Kyle Lowry. That's championship experience. So it's like, okay, can they actually make this move if everybody's healthy? Because they got Oladipo now. He's healthy. So that's another
guy.
Adebayo, like everybody's healthy right now. For what it looks like. All right, like can they make a run? And then like I would say my third team. Well, I'm saying four, but my third team that I really want to see also is ultimately the Bucks. I do want to see if they can go back because, like we said earlier about Giannis, I still feel like it's not stamped yet, but if they go to the Eastern Conference Finals again, at least, I think he's kind of stamped as like king of the East. Yes.
With Durant in it,
bro, with Durant in it, because yes, we acknowledge, we see how great KD is, but one, he's had the injury thing, and two,
if he wears a smaller shoe like last year, Durant, we already look at him great now, but if his shoe's a little smaller last year, and I seen an interview where he said he knew his toe was on the line. But
that's crazy.
Drew Holiday was a great defense, but still,
Yeah, exactly.
But you would give it to Giannis. You feel like he would be. That's what I was talking about earlier, man.
I think so, man. I think so because there's a dominance factor to him. Like the skills, he's not as skilled as KD, but what he lacks in skill compared to KD, I think he makes up for it in dominance. So like he can't do the smooth. He doesn't have the smooth moves of KD. But push on the shove, back,
can't guard him, bro.
Dunk.
Can't guard him.
He's
not calling that when he'll hit you with that push and just dunk. And that push is like, they're not calling that as an offensive. Boy, they're not calling that as a charge. So when
they're not calling that
and dunk, it's like, man, Giannis just did what he did on you. Like,
and if he does that and you foul him, the free throws, he's making them when it counts. So if he's making them when it counts, you really actually can't guard him. So I got it. That's why I didn't put Brooklyn on that list just yet because they're not whole. I think if Ben Simmons was whole, I would really be like, all right, let's see what's going on. I kind of feel like I won't be surprised if they lose in the play-in tournament or first round. I just feel like they're not whole yet. I think when Ben Simmons gets ingratiated into the team, give him a whole off season, we don't have to worry about Kyrie being in and out of the lineup. Next year, I'm going to be watching Brooklyn. But this year, I'm going to kind of give them a pass. But I'll say my three teams for sure I'm paying attention to: Chicago, Miami, Milwaukee. They'll go from there.
So those are all different than the ones I have. I'm looking at interested in the playoffs. I ain't looking at these teams. This first team I'm about to tell you, they are not going to win the finals. Cavs, they don't even know like if they are. I feel like they don't even know like how good they might could be. Like they're just playing because we got players now. They're athletic. We got a point guard that can do something. You know what I'm saying? We got some direction in where we going, and we didn't look up, and we in the playoffs now. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got an all-star on this team. We got some height on this team. Jared Allen. Love is like, beginning of the year, get me out. Now he's like, I'm staying. Like,
I'm staying.
Play with these boys. They, you know what I'm saying? They got some athletic players, and I like Darius Garland, the way he has progressed. Because I came into the league, I can admit, first one to tell you, when I seen Darius Garland at the beginning of the season, I'm like, this ain't really finna work out here. But they out here with two small guards, and sometimes that work, but sometimes they don't. You have Sexton and him. Without Sexton, you seeing a difference. He really just flourishing and becoming a player that he needs to be in Darius Garland. Like the GM will have to make some decisions out here because I like the way it's flowing right now with Darius Garland. He an all-star, so you want to play around Sexton, and he was balling before he got hurt last year. Sexton was starting to ball, hurt his knee. But Darius Garland, it's a difference out here. Like that's a clear difference in my opinion. But that's just an interesting team that I had picked. Okay. Another team, just because I want to see, I feel like this might be the last time for Boston with who they got, the players. Not the wing players. I think Jaylen Brown and Tatum, but like Smart for this team, he can be on another team to me. At some point, like if they decide in the front office to say, hey, and he's like that real gritty part for them, like personal call out the good players. Like he called them boys out this year. Like y'all ain't passing the ball. And they was pissed about it, but it made an adjustment. If you look at teams that came out after the All-Star game, Boston turned that thing around quick because I didn't have Boston on my mind at all. I like watching individual players, and it's cool. Tatum gonna get off. Brown gonna get off. He gonna be hurt, miss some games. Their whole thing is about Jaylen Brown being hurt. To me, if Jaylen Brown's not there, don't even worry about it. But if they're both there, I remember Jaylen Brown in the playoffs. He's a person in the playoffs that put numbers up. Like when they first went that year when they had Kyrie, Jaylen Brown was putting numbers up. It was Tatum who really kind of that first time was trying to get it together. Now last year it was a little bit different, but so that's the team I'm interested in too. Obviously, I know in the paint they have some. To me, they just can't ever get it. I like Williams, but if he's gonna be hurt and stuff, then they're not the same team. So you know what I mean. And I know they got diehard fans out there in Boston, so that's my second team. And then obviously the Nets, just because Kyrie get to come back finally and play healthy now. With fresh legs now, because you know what I mean. Everybody else being tired, Kyrie coming out here, he ain't played. So I'm just letting you know he gonna have the freshest leg when it comes to the playoffs.
This is what I'm worried about with Brooklyn, though. Like like I said, they're not whole, right? I really think all Ben Simmons slander aside, his defense, bro, is really important.
And I hate to say it like this because there's a lot of Ben Simmons fans and just a lot of people who Brooklyn fans, they like to see the team together. Like, let's get all these guys together and see what happens. I got this team going forward now. I got it I really look at Ben Simmons now, like, you know how they look at certain athletes and say, well, he just took a year off. That's what I didn't got out of Ben Simmons. Now I'm feeling like mental health wise or something. You know how people leave the game now and say it's mental health? That's where he at for me. People do that in the NFL a lot and people don't talk about it. Like it's some players that's done it and they just sit out like they need time away from even though that Calvin Ridley thing, that was backfire.
That was a little sus.
But that's how I look at Ben Simmons now. I don't even want to know about is he hurt? Is he mentally messed up? I just got him off this team for the whole year. Like, if he come back in the playoffs, man, cool. But I don't got him playing until next year. So if that's going to be the case, KD and Kyrie, let me know. You know, I want to see what's going to happen when y'all playing together.
That's real, man. I think the only thing about it sometimes about the Nets that's a little alarming outside of the Ben Simmons thing is that I feel like Kyrie takes way more shots than KD. And I think at times that messes it up because like, don't get me wrong, Kyrie is capable of giving us 60. We saw it, right?
Correct.
But like, I kind of feel like Kevin Durant's like scoring hits a little harder. I don't know, maybe because it comes off so easy and like, I don't know. He has a dominance factor to him too with how he just shoots over people. Yeah. I feel like there are times where he's got to just demand the ball. And I feel like with Kyrie, he defers to him sometimes. And it's like, I don't think you need to do that because it's like you really Batman. You feel me? Like Kyrie's nice. He Robin.
Yeah.
He Robin. You know what I'm saying? Like
he definitely. I ain't gonna lie. When the scoring happens, it's been time. I think it's the efficiency thing too. And Kyrie, when he first came back, mega efficient. But like KD is mega efficient, like on the year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if he's shooting that high percentage, you're probably gonna win. If Kyrie's shooting that high percentage, they might lose that game, even though he still may get his points off. So I feel you on that. Like KD points definitely hit harder between those two players. I just got them because, man, how can you not? I mean, and they messing around with the playing game. I don't know what they in here now. I guess they be playing Cavs right now. If it was to be today, this is April 10th, they would be playing Cavs or whatever. But like that playing game is getting real, like for some of these teams now. And I done seen that happen a few times in the past. That playing game will get you out of here. We saw that happen with Golden State. We've seen that happen with Memphis in the bubble before. Some teams that play in that play-in, and you think, all right, it's Hornets last. Oh my God. And I was telling my boy, if I'm the Hornets coach, all I'm doing is putting up last year's play-in game and just run it in the stadium, just run it in the Coliseum, just keep playing it. They got beat by like 30 or something to the Pacers. I think it was something crazy, bro. I'm like, come on, man. Like, just motivate this team some kind of other way. But shout out to LaMelo. He about to get paid. You told me about him early, too. I want to let everybody that's watching this give him the credit to this guy doing this over here. Him, he said it, bro. He told me LaMelo Ball. You might as well have been like his father. You've been talking about how good he was.
I saw the vision, man. I saw what LeVar was talking about. I was telling people, man, like, nah, he gonna be nice. I became a believer of LaMelo, but like honestly, once he started to grow in high school, because like when he was young, remember when he was little, he had like a 92-point game. Everybody was like, right. I was like, yeah, but I'm like, if he starts to grow and he's still doing that same kind of stuff, he's gonna be a problem. And I that's what happened. So I've just been a believer, man. Which is another reason why I hope they don't trade for Westbrook. I don't think that would be a good move.
Yeah, I seen that coming around there. I'm straight on that. I feel like they needed to do that a while ago. It's a lot of stuff now that I feel like they needed to do a while ago. But don't do that before you get LaMelo. If you're gonna do that, do that before then. Like LaMelo out here now, like you can't play them games. In my opinion, I wouldn't do that. Don't do that, Hornets, please. Whoever.
Hey, don't do that. Don't ruin a good thing.
You know? That's not smart. Let me ask you, who do you blame for? Who do you blame for the Lakers not making the playoffs?
Oh God, man! As a LeBron fan, it was tough this year, man. Do I have to just blame one person? I think there's
he averaging 30. I know you're saying as a LeBron fan.
I'm gonna start with LeBron. I'm gonna start with LeBron first, okay? Because like I said, LeBron's my favorite player, but I'm arguably the most reasonable LeBron fan there is out there. LeBron deserves some blame here too, because one, he's the one apparently of him and AD that like, you know, facilitated the Westbrook thing. Like they're the ones that started talking. They reached out to him, and then it seems like they kind of bullied Rob Pelinka into making that trade for Westbrook instead of going for like Buddy Hield and or DeRozan and or just surrounding your team better. Right. And then during the season too, I think LeBron in the beginning, he was showing like he was still doing two-way stuff in the beginning. But I think once he started to get hurt and then he was still getting buckets, I think his mentality changed and he decided, I'm gonna just get buckets now. And like, I don't really care as much about defense anymore. I'm gonna just score our way to victories, which is why like when he was dropping them 50 somethings, they were winning because that was a formula that they needed. But that's not a sustainable formula for a 37-year-old guy. Like it just don't make no sense. So I think he deserves a little bit more blame that I think is being like given to him because you know he's LeBron and he has like a hold over the media, but people are being real. Like even as a teammate, you could tell sometimes too. Like LeBron wasn't always there all the time. I would give him some blame. I would also give Anthony Davis some blame too, but it's just hard because I kind of feel like he just can't help it. Like his body just isn't built for like bumping as a 4 or 5. I just think he's just brittle, man, and like especially on the lower extremities, that's where all the injuries have been really. Like, I mean, what can you do about that?
When that guy fell on his knee, dog, I was like, AD,
you know,
right on his knee, bro. Like,
right on his knee. You can't. You can train all you want, like you can't predict that. That's gonna hurt no matter where you are, and like, so I get that, but it's also just like, damn, bro, like. You haven't, even when you were healthy, bro, you didn't step up to what we thought. Like, ideally,
Yeah.
This would have been the year that AD is putting up those Embiid and Jokic type numbers. LeBron doesn't have to average 30. LeBron can average 25 and then conserve his energy for the playoffs and then go crazy. But no, like he had to try to carry because AD wasn't healthy. So I'm starting with the players first. And then lastly, I would definitely say Rob Pelinka, bro, because one, you keep reshuffling this roster every year. The bubble showed that, like, hey, we had a kind of a good thing going. Like, yeah, we were old, but we had that veteran leadership and we had that size and defense. Why do you get rid of Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, Rondo, Danny Green? He could have.
But he tried to bring Dwight Howard back later. And after
that was, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, all right, then you signed DeAndre Jordan, like, you know, respectfully, bro, is washed. Like, I don't understand why you did that. Then last year, you know, you did the Dennis Schroeder thing. And that turned out to be bad because Schroeder isn't a starting point guard, but he thought he was. Like, there were so many roster moves that just didn't really make sense. And so I really feel like, you know, and then Vogel's kind of an extension of that a little bit too, because it's like, all right, his rotations, I felt like were all over the place. And then, you know, I think Rob was putting this weird like pressure and energy on him that he wasn't able to fully coach the team how he needed to. Like in the bubble, you could tell when Vogel spoke in the bubble, they all listened to him because Bron listened to him. So when Bron listened to him, everybody followed Bron. This year, you could tell Vogel was trying to talk to them, and Bron was just kind of like, bro, like, nah. And because everybody looking at Bron like that, they're like, oh, we don't care either.
So they probably need to make a coaching change.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I wouldn't. If I was Rob, I would give Vogel one more year. I would give him one more because you did win that ring. So like, I would give you one more year, but you're on a very, 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 very like thin leash. Like if the team isn't looking good by like December or January of next season, you out of there. And then you're gonna have your replacement lined up. But you know, if he gets replaced over the summer, then it is what it is. I just feel like the Doc Rivers move, I heard a rumor about that. That's not a good idea. Like,
don't do that. I ain't hear that rumor. Oh no. I ain't saying that about you, Doc Rivers, but I don't want to see you out there on Lakers.
Yeah, so it's players, it's management, and coaching, man. So we gonna see what happens, man.
I just did a podcast last night, bro. You can check it out. I was for the Lakers fans, man. Like if the Lakers, I just put a hypothetical scenario out that if AD comes in the front office, so Rob Pelinka says, I'm having a meeting. I need AD here. I need LeBron here. Everybody else, I don't want you here.
Yeah.
If AD comes in that meeting and he says, hey, I'm 29. I'm the younger player. I'm the person that you need to be going forward with. But I do stay hurt. I understand that. But I'm the younger player right now. I'm the star on your team. I'm going forward. I should be the person that you go forward with. That's one side for Rob Pelinka to be listened to. This is for the future of the Lakers because when you really look at that roster, these are the two guys that have the money. The money is like caught up in these two guys. Let's understand that all these other players are like minimum salary type people. You're talking about Carmelo, minimum salary people. These are folks who you ain't worried about them having to take up the money on the books when we look at it from a GM side. Like, because you can make moves with people that you decide to trade. So if you decide to trade AD or LeBron, like, what are you going to do as this? Because if Rich Paul walks in, because it will be him, not Bron. But if Rich Paul walks in and say, hey, I just want you to know my client, which is both of them, really, LeBron is averaging 30 and 37. He's the best player on your team this year. There's no doubt about that. AD was hurt the whole time. Right. He got a point too. If you walk in there and say that too, and Rob Pelinka's gonna have to sit there, and I feel like he's just gonna say, "All right, well, we're just gonna keep y'all again and just go forward." And everybody else on the roster is gonna be just players we have to plug in. Let's see who we get out here that's gonna be minimum salary, because you got to understand these players. They're taking all the bread. It's a 2-year deal for Bron. He did a 2-year deal again, but these are max type contracts for these players, bro. So everybody else can't get on this. How you gonna get on this team? What you gonna do? You gotta make a move, or do you keep what you have? You know what I'm saying? What do you do?
Okay, so
that's what I asked the Lakers last night on my podcast. I'm like, yo, Lakers fan, if you Rob Pelinka right now, what are you doing? Because it's your blame. The blame for me, if to answer the question, I put it on Bron because I fought with Bron, but I feel like Bron got a lot to do with decision making on that team, bro. You look at Bron on his court, doing his thing, but behind them scenes, Bron is the reason why you got Westbrook. He's the reason why you got Anthony Davis. Let's understand that. Bron gonna come holler at AD like when we out here with these other players, we finna trade them and get to us when he was at New Orleans doing his thing. Yeah. So he's a big part of that, bro. And then the coach, it's like, okay, it's Vogel, but it's really, listen, bro, this is Bron.
It's Bron, dog.
I might have listened to you at the boat, but this is Bron right now. So like, what you gonna do, bro? Like, aging player. Okay. LeBron aging, but he's still playing great.
He's still LeBron. Okay. So if I was Rob and I had to choose between Bron and AD.
Right. If they in your office, they're like bringing their scenarios to you, bro. This real law school stuff. Like, yeah. Bro, hey, my client is 29. Your client's 37.
If I was running the Lakers and I had to choose between LeBron and AD, I'm choosing Bron because I think Bron has shown that he can stay healthier. Now, mind you, he's had injuries every year in LA too. Yeah. But if you surround him with enough stability to where he can take time off here and there and do kind of the Tim Duncan, Kareem thing where like, yeah, you're the big name. Yeah, you're low-key still the best player, but like you don't have to play all the time and you can kind of coast into the playoffs. I think that's a more sustainable model because AD, unfortunately, his injuries be lethal. Like he'll get hurt and he'll be out for a long time. Yeah, and it's like, yo, come on. Like it'll be different. You'll be out 2 games. No, he'll be out 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. Man, the season went so long. So I would, if I had to choose, I would go Bron. And if you're gonna do that, then get the best package you can for AD. You know,
and it's like, hey, he got you one. And he was a big part of that. Defensively making that switch off. I mean, they play Heat, but still, he was that one. If you really look at it, defensively, he making that switch when Jimmy Butler was at him, like he was just going crazy during the time in the bubble, messing around and got them boys in the finals. He making that switch, like I can go guard out here, and Butler can flip it back, get back here with Bam Adebayo. That was during the bubble, which another barbershop conversation I heard going on. It's some people who really don't have respect. Lakers fans, you might not like this, but it's some people who really don't have respect for that championship in the bubble. Like they didn't have to play the games. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like, boy, they took that ring home. I hope everybody understand that. Okay, I know some players who didn't want to go, but listen, it happened. Okay, like I'm trying to take that away from these players. Bro. They really got that. So that's a real thing. It's just Anthony Davis, man, stay hurt all the time. It's one of the things you know about him. He's going to be hurt. Younger player. Defensively, though, I felt like this year, Lakers period, though, they didn't have it defensively. And I'm not one of those players. I mean, one of those people that look at Lakers and think they're not going to win just because the team not good enough. No, Anthony Davis was hurt this year, Lakers fans. Like, y'all know that. I hope everybody listening to me right now, y'all not the same team. I know when he played, he wasn't the same. I know when he played, he still was losing some. But he's a different type of player when he's going to play, bro. Like, let's not act like – like we don't know that AD was hurt this year, bro. It'd be a little different to me if AD plays. Like I've been around a few people talking that act like Lakers just wasn't going to be there or something. Like either way, like team roster too bad and just you got old players, you're too old. Man, these boys can get to the playoffs in my opinion with Anthony Davis being healthy. In my opinion, this year, even though he looked bad certain games this year. I don't care about that, boy. Anthony Davis gonna figure it out when it's time. In my opinion, that's just how I look at it. If he's healthy.
I mean, I feel you, right? Like in theory, like if we knew he would be healthy, if his health wasn't a concern, no question, I would go forward with AD if I knew he wasn't going to be hurt. Yeah. But this health thing is a problem. But I will say this: I got another alternate thing that I think is a more realistic thing. Okay, I think you could keep Bron and AD, but you just have to get the right Russ trade. And in my opinion, the right Russ trade. In my opinion, trade Russ to the Pacers for Malcolm Brogdon and Buddy Hield. What happens there is if you do that, you bring in Malcolm Brogdon because now they got Halliburton over there.
Yeah,
they don't need Brogdon.
They don't need Brogdon. They got Halliburton.
You bring him to LA, he'll be the starting point guard and he can shoot.
Yeah. Cool. Smart player too, high IQ player.
High IQ, and he plays defense. Yeah. Cool. You put him there, that works out, and he's young. Then you put in, you get Buddy Hield. We've been wanting Buddy Hield for a while. Like he's a shooter. Yeah. Now if you bring them, and then the rest of the spots you got to figure out. Because Malik Monk would be a priority, but I think he might command more in the market now because he played kind of good. But whatever. Like, I think if you made that trade and then surrounded the team with just like, you know, athletic younger guys and some shooters, then I think you give it one more go and say, all right, we're gonna focus on Bron and AD being the core, and we're gonna run with this and see what happens. Now, if it doesn't work out again, and we're having this same conversation next year, you could trade them both. At that point, you could just rebuild. You know, you either trade Bron, trade Bron, or you just let him walk. I think he'll be a free agent next year. So I think it's like, I would say give it one more go, bring a real shooting point guard in, bring in some shooters and defenders, give it one more go with the Lake Show, and then go from there.
Did you bring Westbrook? You didn't mention him at all, so he's not really a blame for you, is he?
Okay, you know why I don't? It's like I want to blame Westbrook, but then it's like I can't fully, because we know who he is.
Right.
Like this man has shown us in multiple environments and situations the kind of player he is.
Yeah.
Bro does not play well with other superstars. Like, he just doesn't. And that it is what it is.
Yeah. And the numbers, when I was looking at his numbers, I'm like, these are not bad numbers. He playing on Lakers, bro. Like, we're gonna see their games. We're watching every game out here. We're not watching all Wizards games. Okay, we might not catch the OKC games with Paul George. We might have missed it. I'm telling you, when you playing for Lakers, we watching every move you make, boy. You missed that shot, we on you. Like, fans were definitely on him. But I knew they was gonna be like that for Westbrook going there. I knew it was gonna be like this for Westbrook before the season. I felt like they was gonna be on Anthony Davis all season anyway. Like, yo, you be hurt and everything. It's gonna be on you, AD. You know what I'm saying? Which he was hurt, and that's what happened. This is going into the season. It's how I like to look at it going in. I'm like, okay, Lakers got Westbrook. They also, all right, you had Anthony Davis, he stay hurt. Fans gonna be on AD and Westbrook, but Bron gonna take that he gonna take it just because he LeBron, like he's gonna be that one. And now people gonna look at him and say, all right, you averaging 30, which you cannot deny that. You gotta respect a person averaging 30 at this age, because you know that's not happening. But it's Bron too. So you got people who, that's what I was talking about last night. It's people who look at Bron like, you supposed to do this, when your average player would never do this. They never gonna be 37 averaging 30. I'm just gonna say that now. For all these people who like, yo, this is what Bron's supposed to do, I'm sorry to tell y'all that, yeah, that might be what he's supposed to do for y'all, but we still have to respect the fact that he averaged 30.
Come on, man.
Come on, dog. Man. He's putting the ball in the basket, bro. Like, at the end of the day.
Like, what? That's what he's doing. So nuts, because like, I'm willing to bet that if the Lakers were still in position to like be in the play-in tournament and he would have played those games, I think he would have won the scoring title. I think he would have won. I think he would have won and been like, you know what? One, we got to like win, but two, like, oh, I'm close to getting it. Let me get this 40 ball real quick. And he would have done it.
Yeah, it's crazy because in this season, he really made people who might not have been thinking that he's a scorer, because he passed and that's what he do. But when you look at that Kareem record and stuff like that, bro, like, LeBron really a scorer out here. It's just we ain't looking at him like that. But when you look at the stats, he's always giving you mad points. Like, let's understand that about his career.
Game.
I was it a meme or something that put up like when he was on Cavs young with the headband high. He averaging 30, and then now he on Lakers at 30. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Averaging 30, but we gotta respect it.
Back when his hairline was here.
That's what I'm saying.
Now the hairline here, he's still averaging 30. Come on, bro. Come on.
We gotta respect that, dog. Just to finalize it, I just want to know, if you got to pick a team in the East, who you got going to the finals in the East?
I'm gonna go with Milwaukee, bro. I'm gonna go with a finals rematch.
And then in the West, you got some.
I'm gonna go with a finals rematch.
Which would be wild, because that's gonna be wild, bro. No PJ Tucker on this court this year for the Bucks.
Oh, that's true.
Defensively, makes some things a little different. He came to the Heat. That makes the Heat. That's one of them things that makes the Heat look like, because you already got Lowry too. So you got these tough players.
I mentioned to him about the Heat, and I was talking about them earlier.
Yeah, you got these players who are tough defensively, but I still like Giannis, what can you do with him?
You can't do nothing with him.
You know what Drew Holiday gonna do when it's time for defense.
Exactly.
Defensively, both sides of the ball in the playoffs, you're gonna have to earn your points with him every time.
Straight up.
It's gonna be him and Chris Paul again. I said it last year before the finals. I'm saying it again. If they make the finals, Holiday Chris Paul matchup, like, keep your eye on it, because you're not just gonna do what you want to do out here, Paul. Then, but also Paul is a super, super, super vet.
Yeah,
he's hungry to win this joint again. Hopefully, he's not injured, man. I just thank you for coming on here, dog, and doing this.
Of course,
bro. Congratulations to you. We're gonna send all our prayers up to you. Everybody, send your prayers up. It's finals time. This guy's in law school. He's gonna push through. You know what I'm saying? I might have to hit him up later and see, because I might have to bring you back, because I know it's lost. This is how you know I don't really know much about what's going on, because one of these days I might just hit you up and say, hey man, what's gonna happen with this Meg and Tory thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in court, what's happening, bro? Like,
hey,
what's really happening? Because it's really about what you can prove better. What actually happened, bro? Like, what's going on out here? So I just appreciate you for coming on, man, and hopefully we can do this again. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. You get back to studying. It's crazy.
Yes, sir.
I know you ain't trying to do, but I'd have taken up your time right now, man. I appreciate you.
It's all good. It's all good. I appreciate it, man. You know, anytime, man, we'll make it happen. And, you know, once I get through finals, then yeah, well, you know, this summer will be lit. So we'll make it happen.
All right, hit me up, man. If you come through Raleigh, you know, hey, let me know, man. Let me know.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you for being on, dog. Have a good day.
You too.
Good luck.
Thank you.